Welcome to Helping the Helpers, our series of videos where we share some of our experiences in working with volunteers and trying to help people in crisis and emergency situations. And I hope that it will help, and that people can take that experience into their own volunteering, as I think lots of people are going to be doing right now. And today, very happy to be joined by Natalie, who is one of our coordinators working on refugee camps in Greece. Hello, Natalie.
Hi, Paul.
Thanks for joining us. And what we wanted to talk about today was the importance of staying calm. And when you were working on the camps, things got very intense quite often, and that can be overwhelming. What did you do in that situation?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing that I learned in that situation was that it's possible to stay calm on the surface despite being in complete kind of turmoil beneath the surface, and that there's always going to be a kind of low level anxiety in these kind of situations, and I think that dealing with this low level anxiety is and being aware of it is probably the key. So I find, in this situation and in the situation in working in Greece, there's a kind of an atmosphere of emergency, of need, and you pick up on that. And then there's different stakeholders. There's people who are, who have been through a lot, who are, really worried, for very serious reasons, and they're coming to you, and you're representing something for them that's going to potentially help them, and that atmosphere is you can really feel the pressure. And in those situations, I think the main thing is to acknowledge that pressure, and to realize that your calmness is actually something that people are depending on, for this positive feedback loop to start. The reassurance, the kind of slowing down of the heartbeat, and the understanding that you've got this. So I think, yeah, dealing with those situations on the camp, for example, when I was there last year, the camp kind of doubled in size overnight from 500 to 1,000 people, and we had people who were very, very vulnerable, who had been, in very, very, very difficult situations, coming from all different directions, from all different countries, and speaking in all different languages, and needed to be they needed to be reassured, despite me not being able to speak any of those languages. And just that calm demeanour was one of the most important ways to communicate without language, that we kind of were able to provide for them, and that they didn't need to panic because I wasn't panicking.
I love that
Um,
because I think there is something about, we're dealing with a contagion at the moment, but your own emotion is what people will pick up on. If you transmit calm, then people will start to feel calm as well. And people in this sort of situation are feeling quite stressed and anxious, and they don't want then it's not going to help if you're stressed and anxious as well.
no, exactly. And when you do things, when you respond, or you can let yourself kind of be caught up in that loop of anxiety and worry, then you do end up making bad decisions, or not making the best decisions. So and I think the technique that I use to stay calm is a kind of trying to just take a few deep breaths, and it's a age-old technique, but it really does work, if you really can focus on the breath for a few seconds, for a few kind of counts, and just it brings you back to the moment and stops you kind of having that reaction. So instead of reacting, you want to ideally be able to respond.
I love that. That's a really great tip, and that was, that was mine as well. Is, I mean, taking the deep breaths, but then the other one was, I don't need to make a decision right now. I know everybody's demanding that I do, but I can just think about it and wait. And the problem will still be there in a minute, and I might be in a much better position to deal with it. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone for watching. Please tell us what you think. Ask us anything. Comment, like, and share the video, and have a look at all the other videos that we've got. Thank you very much, Natalie.
Thanks, Will.